This is the Real Love Talk podcast, where we show you how God's love and self-love can help you get to your desired destination. If a God-designed marriage is your goal, then you're in the right place. Here's your host, Shenique Luke.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Real Love Talk podcast. I am your host, Shenique Luke, and welcome to this week's episode. All right, so I have been digging in to these situationships, okay? I have been doing my research, and I am here to give you the tea, okay? So this week, we are talking about how to know if you are stuck in a situationship. I know you sitting over there judging like, that's not my situation, but I'm here today to give you a few signs to know if you are or if you're not. All right? So, for those of you who are new here, I know you can't believe it. I know it looks like I've been happily married forever. But the truth is, most of my relationships were situationships, okay? I was doing everything a husband and wife would do. I'm not even going to talk about getting a ring. I'm talking about homegirl didn't even have a title, okay? Wasn't a girlfriend, I probably may have been like a little boo thing, but I never got the title that I was looking for. Now, the gag is I was doing everything a girlfriend would do. I was hanging out with the parents. I was going on trips. He wasn't even like dogging me out, right? And so you can see here where the water may get a little mucky, okay? See, because you assume that he has to be cheating on you blatantly for you not to be in a situationship. And that is the farthest thing from the truth. A situationship is a relationship with no real commitment. And that's why it just is a situation, right? And usually, the worst thing about a situationship is it lasts just as long as other long term committed relationships and some marriages. So, situationships have a special place in my heart because I know how easy it is to get caught up. You fall in love, you find this guy, and I remember telling myself a title isn't important because he does everything that a boyfriend does. And that's how I tricked myself into being in a situationship. 4 years later, I look up and still no talk about marriage, no talk about commitment, no talk about a family. And those were all the things that I wanted. So I'm here to help you to make sure that you do not end up where I once was. All right. So here are 5 signs that you are in a situationship. Sign number 1, inconsistency. All right. Do you find yourself always wondering, like, what's going on? Right? Some Friday nights you guys hang out, sometimes you don't. My theory is this type of guy likes to be in a relationship when he wants to be in a relationship. So when he wants to be single and go out and do single guy stuff, he goes and does that. You are not included in those activities. But when he wants the commitment of a relationship, when he wants to be booed up, well, let me retract that because it does not have a commitment. When he wants the benefits of a relationship, he calls you. So you're going to the movies, you're going to the family reunions, you're doing takeout on Friday night. You may even be doing work parties. Whenever he needs a girlfriend to do girlfriend duties, when he doesn't want to show up with no one on his sleeve, he calls you. But you tend to find yourself in a space where you're always kind of questioning things. So that leads me to sign number 2. You are in a state of confusion. You are continuously asking yourself, what are we? You may even be having this conversation every 6 to 8 months. So things are going good. You feel like he's finally going to make the decision that this is it. We're together. We're moving forward. And bam, we're not together. We're not in a relationship. I don't want to do that because remember, he only does it when he wants to. It's really like having the benefits of a girlfriend without the girlfriend. So if I could go back to that period in my life, I felt like I was always questioning myself. Like literally, you go home at night and you're wondering, what are we? Where is this going? Am I wasting my time? Because not only are you giving your time, you're giving your body, you're giving your mind, you're giving your emotions, and it can be very emotionally draining. Because the one thing that we all desire in relationship is clarity and direction. We all want to know where we're going. I mean, even if I invite you somewhere as a platonic friend on a random Tuesday night, you still need to know where we're going to meet at. You still need to know where we're going. So, direction is very important. Hi, ladies. Shenique Luke here, your love preparation coach. So, you asked, and now I'm answering. The Love Prep Academy is opening its doors for enrollment for our signature program. Are you ready for your happily ever after? Are you ready to have the life that you've been praying for? Are you sick and tired of wondering, when is it going to be my turn? Well, this program is for you. I'm here to send a call of action to my ladies who are tired of doing it their way and are truly ready to give it to God. So I'm challenging 25 women to become a part of our founding members program. This program consists of weekly coaching from yours truly, a dating assessment, a private Facebook community, and weekly challenges and homework to help you shift how you see dating and marriage to finally get the results you want. Now, the best thing about being a founding member, not only do you get to be a part of a life-changing program, but you get all access to all things Love Prep Academy from now until forever. That's right, we're locked in for life. So click the link below to find out more. I will see you on the other side. So the third point to know if you're in a situationship is you live in the gray area. One of the things I like to tell my clients is that you have to get really black and white with what's going on in your dating situation, right? So we talk about goals, we talk about alignment. There are certain things that equate to what marriage looks like. There are certain things that equate to what dating looks like. There are certain things that equate to what an engagement looks like. And there are certain things that equate to what a friendship looks like. You kind of live in all of them. There are titles for a reason. Now, I'm not going to get too deep into titles because the Bible only recognizes husband and wife. But the thing about situationships is you kind of dabble in all of those things. I had a good girlfriend of mine that told me there's a title for a reason. You got friendship, you got girlfriend, you have fiance, and you have wife. Okay. Now, at that particular point, and this was where I began to shift. If I am your friend, I do not do girlfriend stuff. If I am your friend, I don't do fiance stuff. And if I'm not your wife, I don't do wife stuff. And I found myself doing a little bit of everything to try to prove to him that I was good enough to become his wife. And the gag is that does not work. They either deem you valuable or not, right? So, living in the gray area, you have to be very specific about where you want to be. Living in the gray area does not allow you to do that. Okay. So you have to get very black and white about where you want to be to come out of the gray area. All right. If you want to be his girlfriend, determine what does a girlfriend do? What does a fiance do? What does a wife do? What does a friend do? And if he is just your friend and doing friend things, then your actions need to follow suit. So get out of the gray area and get very black and white, okay? Now, let's move to the fourth sign of how to know that you're in a situationship. No growth. There's no movement. And it kind of connects to the gray area. You're just kind of in this pending state. You don't advance into any other areas. You just kind of remain in I like one foot in, one foot out. He does just enough so that you don't make any noise, but that you also don't go anywhere. It's like he knows exactly how to manipulate the situation in the most gentleman way so that you never go anywhere. So I want to challenge you to really take a good look and determine, have you been manipulated? Because the thing about situationships is he doesn't show up like the big bad wolf. He has the full armor on. He's a gentleman. He's doing everything necessary. And even when you bring things that need to be addressed, he may even adjust. But it's just enough to still keep you on the fence, or I should say, enough for him to stay on the fence. So there's no growth, there's no advancement in the relationship, and you literally look up and it's 4 or 5 years later and you're still exactly where you were on day one. I'm actually getting a little triggered talking about it, okay? So I know that if you're currently in this situation, this may be a little uncomfortable and triggering for you as well. But let's not get emotional. Let's really focus on how we can get from where we are to where we want to be. All right? And number 5, the fifth sign to know that you're in a situationship. The door is always open. He never commits because he always wants to be able to have the door open so that if another woman shows up, he can let her in. He never commits to you because he wants to be able to date. He wants to even be able to commit if someone better shows up. So, in the event that you see him out, he starts dating someone else, you can never really say anything because you guys aren't together anyway. So all of these signs are tactics of manipulation. So I'm here to put you on game so you can get hip and know if you're being manipulated and if you are in a situationship. I believe that most men probably, like, men like to put it on women that we have this fantasy of marriage. But sometimes I feel like men have more of a fantasy about marriage because he believes there is this perfect woman out there who doesn't exist. And so he's leaving the door open for her. She's beautiful, she's perfect, she has her finances together, she's skinny, she's fit, or whatever his body type preference is. And he's leaving the door open for her. Meanwhile, you are working your fingers to the bone trying to prove to him that you're worthy of a commitment. And sometimes it just takes you, he knows your value. Sometimes it just takes you getting hip to the game and showing up the way that you should show up as the beautiful, amazing woman that God has called you to be. So now that you're aware of the signs, I want to give you just a few hints to shift. And this isn't anything new, but I just want to give you a refresher. So, first, we decide what we want. Do you want a relationship with him? Maybe you don't. Do you want to end things? Create your boundaries. Communicate your boundaries. Stick to your decision. Now, this is key because sometimes we lie to ourselves and we don't show up for ourselves. So when you tell him You're going to leave if he doesn't commit. Leave if he doesn't commit. Whatever you say, stick to your decision, because 9 times out of 10, he doesn't believe you anyway. Be okay with walking away. Now, this is going to be a little uncomfortable, but if you want a relationship and he's not willing to give you a relationship, walk away. It is not in line with your goals. This is the biggest part of getting really black and white. And lastly, be okay with being uncomfortable. All of these things are going to really pull the best of you out of this. You're going to really begin to see who you are dealing with this high level of discomfort. You're going to have to stick to your guns, stick to your words, and make sure that you show up for yourself. It's going to be uncomfortable to walk away from someone you love. It's going to be uncomfortable to walk away from someone who you've spent the last 4 or 5 years with. But it's time for you to show up for yourself, your dreams, and your goals. Remember, you want to be married. Does this relationship align with marriage? It's just that simple. Now, I know that it gets gray and mucky in the midst of that, but it's time for you to come out of it and move into the black and white area. It's time to make a decision that will be life-changing in a good way. But I get it. I understand. The you versus you is the hardest part. The new you versus the old you is going to be a challenge, but you have to do this for yourself. You've been praying for a marriage. You've been praying for love. You've been praying for commitment. And it's time that you show up for it. So ask yourself these questions. Do you experience inconsistency? Are you confused most of the time? Do you live in the gray area? Are you experiencing no growth in your relationship or situationship? And is the door open for any other person to come in? If you have answered yes to, I'm going to say, more than 3 of these questions, then you, my dear, are in a situationship. And it's time for you to come out of it. You deserve the commitment. You deserve to just be in a relationship with one person. It's time for the door to close. It's time to get the commitment. It's time to get the promises and the love. And the best thing about it is once we really have those honest conversations and make the decisions and communicate and stand up for ourselves, I had a guy friend tell me, we are just waiting for a woman to say no and stand up for herself. But until then, we are just going to do what we want to do. So what is going to be the difference between you and every other woman? I'm sure that if he's pulling this on you, he's probably pulled it on someone else. So make the decision. Choose you and ultimately love you more than you love him. I promise it will be the best decision that you've ever made. So I hope this was beneficial for you today. And I understand that going through it will be tough. And that's why I'm here. So if you need a coach to help you move through confusion to clarity, I am here for you. I want to help guide you through making those hard decisions. What does it look like on a random Wednesday night when you decide to go home and he's calling you or he wants you to come over? I can tell you practical steps and practical tips on how to move through that so you ultimately get to your desired destination. And I want to help you. I was in your shoes. I've been there before. And now I'm in the marriage that I prayed for, and I have the family that I prayed for. So make the decision, choose you. So I hope that we can work together. You know, if you have any questions, you're always more than welcome to comment below. I love the feedback and I want to help as much as possible. So I thank you for joining me this week. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And if this isn't you, share it with your friend that may be experiencing a situationship. So I look forward to seeing you next week. Remember, the link is below. So reach out to me if you need help. And I'll see you next week. Bye. Hi ladies, Shenique Luke here, your love preparation coach. So you asked, and now I'm answering. The Love Prep Academy is opening its doors for enrollment for our signature program. Are you ready for your happily ever after? Are you ready to have the life that you've been praying for? Are you sick and tired of wondering, when is it going to be my turn? Well, this program is for you. I'm here to send a call of action to my ladies who are tired of doing it their way and are truly ready to give it to God. So I'm challenging 25 women to become a part of our founding members program. This program consists of weekly coaching from yours truly, a dating assessment, a private Facebook community, and weekly challenges and homework to help you shift how you see dating and marriage to finally get the results you want. Now, the best thing about being a founding member, not only do you get to be a part of a life-changing program, but you get all access to all things Love Prep Academy from now until forever. That's right, we're locked in for life. So click the link below to find out more. I will see you on the other side.